Hi, this is Paul Slack. It's Good News Planet. Speaking to John Rosenfeld. Hi, John. Good morning.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Okay, great. You're Executive Vice President of Retail Deposits for TD Bank. We've spoken in the past, and we're going to learn a little bit about today. Changing banks is challenging, and get some of the kinds of things to consider in that process. So what are some good thoughts here?
Well, I think there's a lot of interesting myths out there. You know, only 37% of customers today are satisfied with their banking relationship, according to Money Magazine. But a lot of them aren't changing, so they're staying with where they are. And I think it's because they either feel like it's too hard or takes too long, or they figure all the banks are the same, so why make a change?
What are some of the things that they're unhappy with banks?
Well, and it really addresses the second one, which is, all banks are the same, and I'm here to tell you they really aren't. All banks are very different, especially in the last few months with all the regulatory change. Banks have been forced to find new ways to make money, and that they have that commitment to their shareholders. So free checking that you may have heard of in the past is pretty much no more. And now banks are raising minimum balance requirements, how much you have to keep in your account to avoid a monthly fee, and they're adding new fees. Some banks are now even charging for bill pay, or some banks have even started a fee just to carry a debit card around. So I think those are the types of things to make sure as to the type of relationship you're in today, and if it's changed, you really need to get a checking checkup to make sure you have the right account.
Now, is it a bank's obligation if something does change in your, current checking account, and now there's a minimum balance, or you are going to have to pay for if you come in to see a teller, or so on and so forth? Is that a requirement?
Absolutely. There's a regulatory requirement around notifying customers about any change in terms of their account. But I'll tell you, different banks approach that in very different ways. To meet that regulatory requirement, some banks just put a little, a statement at the bottom of your statement. So all those words on the back of your statement are on the bottom, et cetera. If you're not reading those, you may be missing some of these changes. And so I think it's important to recognize, look at your account, look what's happened. If you're getting hit with fees that you didn't anticipate, then you need to go and ask your bank why and what's changed. Other banks, for example, TD Bank, we try to send letters with very clear explanations as to what's happening. We believe in transparency up front. We recognize that in some cases we may have to add a fee or change a fee, but let's tell our customers what we're doing. I think they'd appreciate the honesty.
Okay. Now, does this apply also to savings accounts?
Absolutely. I think there's been changes to savings accounts, changes to how you access your savings account. Some banks have put limits on how many withdrawals you can make. I think you see that rates are pretty small these days, and I think that's primarily driven by the market, not so much the bank. But make sure that the type of structure of the savings account you're in is what you really intended to have.
How about online? And I know you have a long history with TD Ameritrade and other institutions about online banking. How is that faring out?
Yeah, so there's interesting dynamics there as well. The online space used to be the place you could go and do everything free, but I think some banks have taken advantage of that. One of the larger banks in the country has a checking account that's designed for people that want to do everything online. But the catch is, if you ever have to go visit a teller or call in for assistance, they're going to hit you with a $15 fee. And so be careful when you set up your account, not to anticipate all of your needs, not just what you do on an average day-to-day basis, so you don't end up getting caught in a situation that you didn't intend. I'd also tell you that some banks have started charging to pay your bills online, where that service has been free for quite some time. That's still something we offer free, absolutely, at TD Bank, but not all banks do.
You have a concierge service also. Is that Regis Philbin and Kelly?
Yes, Regis and Kelly are waiting in every store. No. The concierge service is really designed to help customers switch. our research shows that you can switch banks in less than an hour, and that includes not only getting the new account set up, but get a debit card, put in your hand before you leave the store that day, transfer funds into the account, set up recurring bill payments or debit withdrawals, as well as work with the Social Security Administration, other government agencies, or your employer to set up direct deposit. So we'll do all that the day you come in if you wish to switch your account to TD Bank.
So yeah, let's state that again. I mean, the bank, if you do decide to switch banks, you bring in your numbers, your checking account, I guess savings account, or whatever you have in the bank, to say TD Bank here, and you guys can take care of it. We sign cards to authorize you to do it. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Well, if you bring it in, we'll do it with you while you're there. So the best thing to do is bring in your any information about your employer direct deposit. Bring in your a check from your other bank that you're going to draw funds from, etc. Bring in, whatever you bring in, we'll work with you. But the more you bring in, the better, the easier it'll be.
And then is there some time frame to the process? I mean, now I guess the bank is working with another bank to get that information.
Yeah. So we typically will finish it all within the hour while you're sitting there.
Oh, okay. That's a short amount of time. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there may be some delays for fund transfer and things like that, but typically those happen overnight as well.
Okay. There's some other thoughts here that we should know.
I think the other thing is just, make sure, like I said earlier, make sure you keep tabs on the type of account you're in. Make sure it still meets your needs. If you're not sure, come on into TD Bank, get a checking checkup, or go online. We actually will show you what we have to offer and compare it to the competition right on our own website. I don't think a lot of banks are willing to put themselves up against their competition on their own website today, and that's something I'm pretty proud of at TD Bank.
Now, how about other areas in the bank? I mean, is it wise to consider, at the same time, I mean, when there's checking, there's savings, but, maybe there's car loans and equity in homes and things like that.
Absolutely.
You want to have a well-rounded opportunity and to build a relationship?
Yeah, not only that, but I mean, I think it's great. Once you find a place that gives you the level of service that you want, stick with it, and I'd bring more business there. I think the key thing to understand is that the more relationship you have with almost any bank on the planet, the more you're going to get in return with regards to features and benefits. I can tell you right now, if you bring a large relationship to TD Bank, you'll get a discounted safe deposit box. You won't have to pay any of those, wire transfer fees or official check or money order fees. We waive all those kind of, extra fees, if you will, for folks that have the largest relationships, and I'm thinking over $2,500 in your checking or over $20,000 in total deposits and loans, etc.
Since such a great percentage here in America are small businesses, how about the combination of the business and your own personal checking at the same facility? Is there benefits in that?
Absolutely. There's been, again, that all comes to play into the relationship that you bring to the bank. But I think the biggest thing is if you find the type of bank that gives you the level of service that has real people answering the phone when you dial in and ask for help, as opposed to going through that that automated robotic maze. I think once you find that level of service, and the value is there with regards to what you get in return for whatever fees you may pay, I think you need to, focus on bringing your entire relationship there.
Okay. And if you have a lot of coins, TD is perfect, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Free coin counting.
I love those. Okay. Well, John, thank you very much. Where can we go for some more information?
Well, come on out to tdbank.com. You can get tons of information on our website. Or what I'd prefer is drop into one of our stores and meet some of our people and find out what WOW service is all about.
Excellent. Let me ask just to congratulate you on a lot of community service outreach that the bank does. That's a lot of good news there. And what is good news for you, John?
TD Bank, America's most convenient bank. Thank you.
There you go. Okay. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.